Jobs disappearing, yeah. You were saying something on that? I'm trying to remember.
You talked about it. I said, things haven't always been this way.
Oh,
so.
right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, it would be obviously a terrible thing to happen, but look, it is what it is.
I'm so tired of the whole men versus women thing. It's so old. It's like we need to work together. That's like the bottom line.
I think the algorithm pushes it a little bit.
You should tell that to the feminists.
They need to get over it. Huh? They need to get over it.
Well, I would say this. So when you start viewing things and forwarding to society and then infiltrating academia and then forwarding it upon institutions and governments and media and journalism and the news and corporations, look, it is true that throughout history women have had specifically gendered grievances. What feminists have done is said women have had specifically gendered grievances. And some of those are valid, some of those are true. But they have done a sort of, what's the best framing for this? They've completely forsaken or done any investigation as to compared to what. And the comparison was just, we're only considering and analyzing the ways in which women have been disadvantaged without a sort of comparative lens of at what price and as compared to who, compared to men. And they wanted to, feminism is basically women oppressed, men oppressors, men are to be blamed in a sort of Marxist way. It's basically class division between men and women, where women are the oppressed group, men are the oppressor group. And when you view things through this lens, it's actually really damaging. But what ends up happening is if women, or rather I should say feminists, do an analysis of society and say, how is this impacting women? Well, that invites men, or I guess you could say men's rights activists, to look through society through the exact same lens that women use, but to analyze the ways in which men are disadvantaged, which is something that feminists completely
ignore,
disregard, or don't acknowledge, or downplay. And so, but feminists really don't like that. Feminists really do not like when men say, actually, maybe it's not the case that men throughout all of human history have had it really easy and really great and life's been easy for men and women have had it so hard. That's basically the feminist construct. And that's a framework feminism started. Men were not like viewing society through this lens ever. Feminists came and said women have all these grievances, X, Y, Z, some of which were true, some of which exaggerated, some of which fabricated. And so a lot of these things going on, by the way, if we're doing a comparison of you might even say my podcast is forwarding some male-centric viewpoints. Any men who are using this framework, the same framework feminists do, which is in-group gendered disadvantage in society, you have, what's the best way to put this? I would say we don't have nearly the same amount of widespread societal acceptance or institutional acceptance that does feminism have. So, the gender war, you have feminists to blame, and then men are doing a reactionary thing of basically feminists have, let's say, been greedy in overstepping, and the great overreaches is perhaps the best way I would put it. The great overreaches of feminism, men combating it is a reaction to the feminist overreach.
I think whether or not it's a reaction, it's annoying when men do it. It's annoying when women do it. I think it's just victim mindset. It's not productive. It's like we're keeping tally at this point, and it's.
Oh, sorry, continue.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with pointing out that, there are certain ideologies that are pushed heavily in mainstream media as well as educational institutions. But it's just been so tiring lately. I feel like it's this back and forth of, well, as a woman, I can't do this, and we're not represented in this field as much. And then the men respond by saying, well, you also don't have to go to war. And there's a lot of truth to that, but it's just so exhausting to hear. It's
exhausting. And feminism has changed. It went from women should have a choice, which women should have a choice, to now I feel like it was like, oh, you should have a choice. You should be able to stay at home if you want to now women are being shamed for wanting to stay at home. And feminism and more like, no, you should go out and do everything a man is doing. And it's just like there's so much focus on gender and not enough on the individual. It's just so, like you said, annoying.
You guys wanted
You wanted to go? Go ahead.
I just wanted, to me, like the way I say I'm a feminist, to me it's just I feel like women should have the choice to do what they want. If you want to stay at home and take care of kids, or if that's what you want to do, then you should do that. If you want to go and be a doctor or a surgeon, you should be able to do that. Like for me, it's like women should have the choice to do what they want. Like the same as men. Like men can choose whatever they wanted. Like there was no, and the thing is, I would say like men
sorry, go ahead.
I just said men have, they do have like they have been through a lot, and like, but the one thing about them is that they could have always, they had the option to do whatever career they wanted to, and I just feel like women should have that as well.
Well, I have some gripes with that. There's a couple different gripes. So you said men always had the choice, women didn't have the choice, but so women would have. By the way, this idea that women were like full-blown barred from being in professions.
Well, no, they could have. No, they could have been. 400. They could have been secretaries.
Women were definitely had jobs. Women worked. Women were able to make money. Now there were some differences here and there, and there were societal components, but so women had the. If we want to talk about choice, women didn't have to work. Now, men never had that choice throughout history, and I'd argue men, with very rare, even in 2026. Men can't realistically, dating podcast, men can't realistically go out there in the dating market and be like, I want to be a stay-at-home husband. That shit will not fly with even liberal women. Liberal women who might have good career ambitions, their standard, even though they are feminists and believe in 50-50 equality, blah, 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 they will never be in a position. By the way, when I say never, yes, there are some women who are, okay, you want to be the house husband and take care of the kids, and I'm going to go out to work. There are some, very, very few women who are okay with that. Most women, even liberal progressive women, their standard's going to be, I want a guy who makes as much money as me or more. He has to earn as much as me or more. So there is never really a choice for men to want to actually step back and be more taking care of the household. That's a choice women have. Now, in terms of careers, I think you have to have a really strong understanding of what the world looked like 100, 200, 300 years ago. 300 years ago, women's lack of representation in the workplace, you have to remember 300 years ago, there wasn't air conditioning. There wasn't like lunch breaks and HR, and there wasn't
pregnancy leave.
There wasn't like, oh, we're gonna live in I'm gonna go to work at my corporate job for some tech company and have all these benefits, and they give me free food, and there's cupcakes, and there's entertainment at the work, and there's a meditation studio. No. 100, 200 years ago, life was pretty difficult. Life was really hard. I don't even think most people, if we got, men included, to be fair, if we got transported back 300 years ago and we had to like live and survive, we'd be, most modern humans would be probably incapable of doing it, but also just like, whoa, this sucks. I can't doom scroll on TikTok. I just got to sit here in my fucking cabin for what the fuck am I supposed to do? That's an entertainment component. But so women, in terms of, oh, it's so unfair, women themselves either didn't have the physical capacity to do the jobs that were available 100, 200 years ago. You go 200 years back, you think there was HR ladies? You think that there was project managers in some swanky air-conditioned office job for some tech company? No, that shit did not exist. 100 years ago, 200 years ago, as a man, you go into the coal mines. Maybe 200 years ago, that's a bit too far back. But this idea of like lacking of access to the workplace was physical. It was labor. There wasn't coding. There wasn't these jobs that required more brain than brawn. So it's like, I think actually, if we go back to say like 1930s, 1940s, I mean, there was coal mining before then, and women started getting a bit more involved in the workplace. But let's go back to the 1910s, 1920s, coal mines. You could be the wife and stay home in the comfort of your house, take care of the kids, or you can go into the coal mines and your lungs completely gigafucked by the time you're 40. And then you're dying of like brutal, literally gasping for air for the last 5 years of your life. You can't even fucking breathe. You've got black lung. I think women, it wasn't evil men preventing women from the workplace. It was benevolent, sacrificial men willing to do the dangerous, difficult labor jobs and insulating women and protecting women. And I guarantee you, if you women had the choice and we transported you back 100 years ago, and the choice was stay at home, take care of the house, raise the kids, or go in the coal mine, and there wasn't what's the organization that
OSHA?
OSHA, thank you. There wasn't fucking OSHA back then. You go in the coal mine, you work 12 hours, you piss in a corner, there's no bathroom breaks, no 1 hour lunch break, and I don't know, you die at 40. For the last 5 years of your life, you can barely breathe. Your fucking oxygen, what is it, oxygen level? The what? Your O2 levels or whatever? You're fucking, you guys ever had like pneumonia or been sick or some shit? Fucking COVID. You fucking can barely breathe and shit. 5 years of that. Then you die. Like shit, I think women kind of had the good deal. Now look, there's obviously jobs now that are more comfortable and safe and
I
whatnot.
have kind of a hot take with this. Back then, I agree exactly with what you're saying. It wasn't safe. There was clear roles. Notice the time that when feminism really started to begin getting pushed was around the time when comfortable workplaces started evolving.
Sure.
And
yes.
I believe that it was a psyop by the government that was designed with paid actors to come in and riot and do things like that to mentally, like psyop us into thinking that women are equal to men in the workplace, which the jobs were still not the same back then. They still had crazy conditions, but it's becoming slowly more accessible and comfortable, so to say. Now you have double taxes. You have two parents out of the home. I said this last time I was here. Your kids are in a public system that got taken over by people who God knows what they're teaching. It's the perfect destruction of the original American dream or whatever, and it's ended us here with like we've lost the plot of feminism. There is no more feminism. It's just radicalization of evil. And here you are, however, we're pushing 50 years later, and it's a whole new idea. It's just not even, it's exactly what they wanted. We're playing right into like liberation of females, the overconsumption of porn and OnlyFans. It was just a setup. Like, I know that's very based hot take, but that's honestly what I believe because it just makes sense like on the map, the history books.
I think that too, because you were saying that it comes down to choice, right? And I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't think that's what feminism is anymore, because if it was just about choice, it would be okay that sometimes women just choose to do other jobs. We just choose to, be teachers, and that's fine. But I think it's not equality of opportunity anymore. It's equality of outcome. Like, we need to force women into these, or we need to lower standards. And I'm so against lowering standards so that women can be part of certain jobs. it's just a bad idea all around. I
agree.
And I
I
think
mean,
that
but in
we've done that in
every
many instances.
Kind of like any idea or any kind of group, there's going to be always radicals who push it. Like I feel like everyone now always like generalizes like, I think they now think feminists are like misandrist, like women.
Yeah,
who,
they are.
They are.
Yeah, I mean, no, but
not just
I think women and
always
men are
have been,
equal.
but-
But I just feel like now, like there are feminists who just believe like we just want a choice, and that's what it is. And yeah, there are also radicals who push for more, who want for more. But then that shouldn't just kind of make everyone look down on the whole idea, because like the whole basis of it is just women just want a choice, and that's how I look at it. That's how I think about it. And the extremes of it, I don't agree with. Like I feel like we're pushing too hard for all of that. Like I feel like right now we've made good progress, but like now, like since the radicals are like pushing so much of it, and then everyone just looks down at the whole cause and thinks that
'Cause, like,
it's taken too far.
I don't
We
know
reached
if
the goal
it's-
so long ago. So it's like, what are we doing now? We reached the goal so long ago.
You can nuke
Well,
my
yeah.
job.
I guess what is the point of
What's
feminism?
the point anymore besides to like
today?
split up families and like make these like crazy women?
But what is the purpose of feminism today? Like, so
That's what I'm asking.
Women,
I don't
women
know.
can work. Women have choice. Women have freedom. Women have the vote. So what is the purpose of feminism?
Fucking create division.
You said that.
Hold
this-
on, hold on.
so-
Well, there's a lot of double standards for women and men.
There is, for me, there's still a lot of double standards. Like it's not like I'm preaching for anything. It's just I say like I'm a feminist.
But how
Like I
do-
still believe in like when it comes to hooking up and women having a high body count versus men having a high body count. Like
Yeah, but
women
how are
always
you gonna?
get
You
looked
can't
at.
legislate men to not have double standards.
But it basically just feels like in patriarchy that men never face consequences for their actions, and because that women are
What?
kind of scapegoated. Like, okay, for
Men
example,
don't face consequences in patriarchy.
yeah, no, they don't.
Men invent. Hold on.
Like, people
Are
minimize
there
what men do all the time.
Is there a justice system that can operate under a patriarchy?
Yeah.
And even wait. I actually believe there's this concept of the women are wonderful effect. I actually believe that typically, even in a patriarchy, which I to some degree reject, but it depends how we define patriarchy. I actually think society is gynocentric. You actually see, for example, when it comes to being held accountable, if we look at crime, for example, women actually get let off way easier.
I meant
There's
more
studies on this.
social.
Women receive far less harsh punishments when it comes to crime. They're much more likely to either get probation, their charges reduced. If they do get charged with an equivalent crime, they're going to serve less time. Their prison conditions for women are much better, much more safe than the conditions for men. So, I mean, this idea that men aren't held accountable, in terms of, are you talking about crime?
No, I'm talking about like socially. Like if a guy complains, it's seen as, oh, he's just speaking his mind. When a girl does it, it's seen as nagging. Like even like with Kendrick and Drake, when they went at it with their rap beef, everyone was praising them. But the minute Taylor Swift writes like a slight diss track against another woman, it's why can't she act her own age? Nobody was telling those guys they need to act their own age. Like it's just stuff like that. Like
Wait, when did Taylor Swift
women
do
are
that?
women are the consumers of female pop music. So that's women who are being critical of other women. Men don't know or give a fuck about the beef that Taylor Swift has with whoever. What are you talking about? How would that be evidence of the patriarchy? The evil patriarchy, the men, or have a double standard when it comes to male and female pop stars? What? Men don't know about the Taylor Swift beef? What?
I didn't know about it. I don't
Even
know.
some
it was
women
just
don't
an
know about it.
example about how like women always get told to act their age, but men don't. Like that was just the example.
I reject the
equal,
premise.
I've never
though.
heard of that. I mean, doesn't like anyone who acts kind of immature get told to like ask their age? Like I don't know. I've never really.
I think
feel
there's
like people
actually a
minimize what men
heavier
do a lot of
emphasis on younger men to perform.
right.
I think there is.
Like,
I
be
think
a
that
man.
if you're
Yeah.
at the age, let's say probably from like 19 to 26, I think there's a way heavier emphasis in society to overachieve, to have performance anxiety, versus like a woman who's just cruising. She's like, oh, I'll start like beauty school a little bit later on in life and be done. It's like a man might be like shitting his pants because he's thinking all these extra things like, how am I going to provide? How am I going to live up? Like, I think it's honestly, that's just the way it is, no?
I would agree with that.
I live with it. I have a younger brother. Like the pressure on him was astronomically different than the pressure on me, and I'm the eldest sibling.
Well, like there's also a double standard where like I feel like when men are a little bit quirky, no one cares. Like they're like, oh, that's just Steve. But when like a girl's quirky, it's like she's annoying, she's evil, she's this, that, and the third. Like,
Is this from personal experience? Because I don't see
I've never
this.
been called annoying for being.
I mean, I see people like they make POVs on TikTok all the time, like mocking
Girl,
women that are a little bit quirky.
Is this your
like-
reference right now?
I mean, I'm
POVs
just
on
giving an
TikTok?
example. You guys can't nitpick like every example like I give. Like
I
it's
feel like
kinda-
you're not giving good examples. Like I feel like if you look at body count, like women with high body count are disregarded more than men with high body count. Like women's sexuality is still
it's
not the
celebrated
same as
for
how
a man.
men's sexuality is looked at. Like if I'm bringing examples of double standards, I would look at that. Like sexuality, most importantly, like men can express this however they want, but women are still judged like,
Right.
greatly for.
If you're going to
their
name a
expression.
stereotype, then you have to have an example to back it up with. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you guys got mad in my example.
Well, unfortunately,
I don't think we're getting mad. I think it's
Not
just a
getting
lot
mad.
of generalizations that are
Yeah,
one vague, and then
generalizations.
two, when we ask you to give an example, it's like, well, this one time this happened, and it's like, okay, well, that was one experience, like, and we all feel
you are
different.
also talking about your experience.
What? When have I cited? An
But like
experience?
like multiple girls on here have like
You
talked
just
about
said I was
personal.
citing an experience. So when did I cite an
So
experience?
there you go, splitting hairs again. Like,
But she's not trying to convince us of something. You're.
Yeah, I'm having a conversation. I'm asking questions. And you're saying like, this is my experience, or don't you guys think this? And we're all saying no.
Yeah, unfortunately not. So.
Not in a mean way. It's just it's vague, and there's not much to
we
back
can't
up what you're
relate
saying.
to it. That's okay. Sometimes you'll have an experience or something that you believe in that maybe other people won't have that same experience or won't, agree with the generalization.
To talk about what you were talking about, the pressure that's put on men to perform and provide and protect and all that, I kind of feel like, if anything, what modern feminism has done is give women that same type of pressure too, because if anything, I feel like I don't really have a choice. Like I have to go to work now.
Yes.
Like I can't afford I have to like take care of myself and hope that one day I marry someone that makes enough to provide for the entire family, but that's not the case for most women. So if anything, I feel like in that regard, it's kind of taken our choice away. Because before,
Of course.
I guess that was my point.
She makes a fantastic point. You mentioned choice, right? So yes, there's more freedom for women to pursue various professions and making money. But she is right that it has taken the choice away from women who might have otherwise been inclined to stay home. Like that choice is gone for 97% of women because of the economic reality. And by the way, I'm not saying that, just to be clear, I think it's fine that, well, it's not just fine. I agree that women should have the choice, but we have to, what are the consequences? Even with good things, there are perhaps unintended or negative consequences. In this case, when it comes to women's equal participation in the workforce, and look, there's other economic components to why this is the case, but if you double the labor pool, you are corporations love that because
That's what I was saying.
it drives wages down. And so now we live in a society where historically you could support a family on one income, and typically the job that could support a family wasn't like you're some high-powered attorney. You could have like
A farm.
in fact, I think perhaps even historically, you could even have a minimum wage or close to minimum wage job and support a family, like wife, kids. Wife doesn't have to work on that income. And so, look, I'm not saying women shouldn't be able to work, but it is the case that through feminism, that is perhaps an unintended consequence that you've taken the choice away from women who otherwise did want to just, hey, I don't want to work. I want to stay at home, have some kids, raise the kids. Now it's like you're sort of forcing the women to go to work, I guess, because you can't, the economic reality for most people, you can't have a family and raise kids on just one income for most families. I mean, if you're a really high earner, then you can, but it has taken another choice away.
How do we reverse it? I wanted to ask that with like the PSYOP. How do we reverse what we've done? Like,
I don't think you, honestly.
But the only way to reverse it is women don't work again. Like it's either or.
The
like
nuke button.
We had an unintended consequence, but at least women have the choice now. But like it's either women never worked and only men did, and they just were the ones who provided, or now women have the choice and maybe, I mean, I'm sorry for the women who don't want to work and they do, but then there's also women who want to work and who also, I like the pressure of having to do well in society, because why should I be any different from a man? Like, men have the pressure and they have to perform well. I also want the pressure to perform.
I think you can do well in a
awesome.
society without having a job, like an actual job. I think you can be, like, I think women that raise their children to be good people are doing the best thing that they can for society. That's also, like, we should also be uplifting people that choose to do that. But again, you said, like, well, at least we have the choice. There's no choice. I have to work, and it doesn't empower me. I don't feel good that I have to, like, slave myself every week at work. I do it because I need to.
Just women don't work then? Like, that's
at this point, I couldn't answer. Now that, like, all of this has happened, I don't know what we would do at this point. And because we're in today's economy too, I don't know how you would change that. So
I really don't think that there is currently a solution. I think
There is none.
once the toothpaste is out of the tube, you can't really put it back. I think there could be societal changes in the future because of automation, robots, AI, where we could potentially be moving towards or even get to a post-scarcity society where you basically nobody has to work. I mean, I guess people could still work, but I'm not. But this could be decades or even much further down the road. So I mean, that's a bit too far in the future. I mean, what I think, at least short term, is perhaps less of a negative sentiment towards motherhood. It does seem like there's, like, I think the propaganda that women receive is more career. Not even necessarily saying that's bad, but there's, like, sometimes a corresponding motherhood, wife, family, bad. So I think that there should be at least as much, maybe propaganda is not the right word, but there should be as much push perhaps for women to re-examine having a family perhaps a bit younger, not waiting until you're in your late 20s or 30s to have kids, get married, start a family, etc. We have a chat coming through. Thank you, Justin. Hello? What the fuck?
Based Justin donated $100.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
C3 nailed it. Women in the workplace has destroyed the concept of the nuclear family. Instead, women are fed into the college soft science career scam, avoiding the trad role at all costs. More C3.
Thank you,
Exactly.
Justin.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, I think that feminism we were sold a propaganda of feminism where it's like empowerment and freedom, and here we are all these years later where it's not, like I said, it's not feminism anymore. It's just evil, and the literal outcome has been the polar opposite of what the women were fighting for way back in the beginning. And like I said, yes, nuclear family is done. It's destroying. Now we have double income. Your kids are being raised by the government in public funded schools, and it's honestly just like, think about like the happiness levels and the cortisol levels and everything. It's all planned and intended. And I just believe that I think the end outcome is more lesbian relationships, which have higher domestic violence.
Okay,
Kids being raised to take on what their parents think, gender roles swapping, and just the complete transformation of society to like this weird dystopian place where we've completely lost the plot that God put for us way back in the beginning.
Well, how about this? Who here is currently in college? Show of hands, who's in college? College. Okay, you three. What do you guys prioritize more for yourself? And I'm not speaking, I guess, looking long-term a little bit. Do you prioritize one day having a really killer career, great career, or do you prioritize having a family, a husband, and children? Which one would you prioritize higher?
Out of the two, am I allowed to say that I prioritize them equally?
Sure, you can, yeah.
I would say that I prioritize them equally, but like right now is a time in my life where like what I'm prioritizing the most is just like doing the things that make me happy and like
Can I
being
have
myself.
you tilt your mic down a little bit for me? Okay, what about you?
I think like adding on to what she said, it really depends on like what part of time I'm in. Like right now, I'm obviously very focused on like trying to get my degree in my career starting, but then hopefully later on in the future, like my priorities will shift to be having like a family and marriage. But as of right now, like,
well, I understand right now, obviously
right?
you're in college.
Yeah.
But
Are you speaking
if we're like whole life in totality, do you uphold like
Okay.
career and academic achievement over family, kids, husband?
I think
Can I
I'll
have you tilt your mic down, please?
Yeah.
It's,
I think I'll pick family and kids if we're speaking long term over career. But yeah.
okay, what about you?
Equal. I want a successful career, and I want a husband, and I don't know if I want kids. So
Okay.
What would you say women should pick?
What do I think women should pick? Family. Family, husband, children. Not in that order or anything, but that should be a priority over career.